In this essential training course, we focused on the core knowledge to get you up and running with JavaScript. But of course, this language can go much deeper than what we can possibly cover here. But now what I'm really expecting is that you have a problem you want to solve with JavaScript, and no course is going to tell you exactly what to do. So now what? Where do you go from here? Well, we are web developers. We make use of resources on the web. We search for answers and tips and tricks. But with JavaScript, you really want to be careful, because the problem is, more than any other programming language I know, the general level of advice on JavaScript is abysmal on the web. And some of the results you'll get, even from very popular sites that might appear highly ranked in search results, is not to be trusted. Now, most of the time that's not from malice or even ignorance, but it's just old. Some sites get highly ranked because they've been around for many years, but that's the problem. We don't write JavaScript like we used to 10 years ago. So I count myself in with other trainers and authors who daydream that we could just erase all the JavaScript advice on the web and start again from scratch. But that's not an option. So be skeptical. If the answers that you find when searching involve lots of document.write or browser sniffing, that's a really bad sign. Or if in general the code just doesn't seem to know that the DOM exists, look somewhere else. So what's the alternative? Well, here's a few sites that I'm a big fan of. Probably primary and top of the list is developer.mozilla.org. This is one of the best single sources of information on JavaScript, which is to be expected, as JavaScript really comes from them. Now, they have several areas on this site, but they do have a particular JavaScript section, including a full JavaScript reference. There's a JavaScript guide. There's ECMAScript 5 information. Great content here. Similarly, some of the other sites that belong to browsers, such as dev.opera.com, also have some terrific articles. The Internet Explorer Developer Center on Microsoft does as well. If you're using a third-party library like jQuery or Prototype, make sure that you're making good use of the site for that library and using its tutorials and its documentation. Similarly, Yahoo at developer.yahoo.com/JavaScript has a great JavaScript developer center. Now, a lot of this is focused on people who are using the JavaScript libraries from Yahoo, but there's also some great content there, particularly in the developer.yahoo.com/performance section, which has some great best practices for general web development and for JavaScript in particular. So definitely worth checking out when that performance issue becomes something that you're looking at closer. Now, for more of a general forum, Stack Overflow is my preference here. This is a great place for questions and answers, although make sure you read the entire thread whenever you see this, because the discussion is usually as informative as the selected answer. But if I even just search on the term JavaScript here, I could search on JavaScript date calculation or JavaScript jQuery or what have you. If I order by votes here, what I'm going to see is a bunch of the most popular posts under the term JavaScript. So I've got jQuery tips and tricks, hidden features of JavaScript, what should every JavaScript programmer know? And again, it's not just the list, but it's the discussion, it's the amount that get upvoted and downvoted. This stuff is all really good content. So I'm a big fan of stackoverflow.com as a great question and answer location. And last but not least, take a look at some of our more advanced courses here on lynda.com, and bear in mind, not all of them will say JavaScript in the title, because you're also going to find courses on HTML5 and on jQuery, for example, but there's some great content here too.